I have no idea what's going on today.
Yeah,
I actually have no idea what's going on today. But it's
I guess this
it's
is
going
the thing
on.
now, huh?
I guess it's a thing now.
Okay, well, how about I one up you guys? What else can we do?
It's high noon.
Because dimensional hole content was so easy to clear, this is now content because there's no Summoners War content anymore. This has become content now.
Remember every week I'm like, hey, buff Artemil. I mean, not sorry.
Whoa.
I don't mean sorry. I let my heart out. I spoke my mind. Exposed. No, remember every week I said nerf Antares? See the
Barcode tier list?
Barcode tier list?
No, I didn't see. Yeah, zoom in a little more. Yeah, zoom in like that.
Put an Antares inside of Elia's hand too, in the bottom right corner.
Right here.
He's so good. He's the entire tier list.
I got it. You know our question earlier about special modes? They should bring back old patches for special mode. Leica with the stun again.
Tableau.
Danny with strip again. Tableau. Dude, if they did that for special league, I would play that, dude. I would gear them and play it, dude. Like just for special league. Like bring back some of the old and hottest like things. Like Danny strip skill 1 comes back for just that mode. Leica stun comes back. What else? Tableau comes back.
It has
Like
to be the most powerful version.
You know what? You know what? Chasoon!
Huh? Aloha everybody from the YouTube channel. Welcome back to another week of the podcast here. Yeah, still don't have a name for the podcast, by the way. Still haven't figured anything out, but we'll just call it the IslandGrown podcast. Yeah, for now still, until we figure something out. You guys want to
buff Arda podcast?
The buff Arda podcast? I think Thompson would like that though. I think he would really like that. But as you can see, we got Thompson here, Takeesh, Obalongo, aka Obabo. I never know what to call you, dude. As well as Tyler. What's up? We're gonna be talking about some topics here today. Thank you guys for joining me. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and open up with.
What do we have to eat today, Thompson?
Oh yeah. I see you both. You're drinking something. What are you drinking?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Pokey.
Oh, that's right up
really
my
good.
alley, dude. That actually looks really good.
They said Pokey started from Hawaii first. Like Hawaii's the first place that had like Pokey.
Right. It's just like raw fish with stuff on it, basically. Yeah. So I would say Poke. I mean, I'm pretty sure Poke started in Hawaii. If my second guess would be maybe Japan, but I mean Hawaii, pretty certain. Anyways, that's not the topic of the day. We're gonna move into the first topic of the day here. First topic of the day is Special League. How's it going for you? Are you playing Special League? How's it going for you? Have you seen any new units or comps? Because typically in Special League, if you guys don't know, this season Special League is just pre-ban, right? Just normal pre-ban and regular RTA battles. This is where people are, testing things out and trying out new units and combinations. Are you guys seeing anything cool? Seeing anybody, do anything interesting? And what's often being pre-banned when you guys are playing?
I see a lot of Vanessa pre-bans.
Really?
All the cleavers are pre-banning Vanessa because it's speed lead and it's the Vanessa Triana comp. If you see a Japanese player, you know he's pre-banning Vanessa.
I see.
So in return, you pre-ban the Bistat.
I mean, I see a lot of Gianna bans, but it's mostly from my side.
Why you don't like fighting against Giannas?
Have you guys been seeing this guy around?
Oh,
I actually saw him a few games.
Look at that Albert right there.
That crit damage though.
Really?
That's a nice Tyranny set.
That's a pretty nice Albert right there.
Albert.
Yeah. There's been a lot of this guy. There's also been a lot of this guy.
Oh, you got both of them.
He's becoming popular.
You see? Look at the way you build it. You a G3 player and you build it like that. My discussion last week about, Icarus sniping the Tyrannies against from tree and how to play. He was not able to snipe the Tyrannies because the Tyrannies was 35k HP. This is what I see most people build their Tyrannies, like 25k HP. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else was like, oh yeah, that's like normal. Like everybody has tanky Tyrannies. And I was like freaking out that, the cards didn't kill Tyrannies. And look at yours. Yours would have died to size bye-bye.
I think most people actually don't build a tank. Most of the RTA ones I see hit for like 10k.
20,000, right? 23,000 damage?
No. I'm saying the Icarus did 32k and it did not snipe. Yeah, Icarus did 32k and did not snipe the Tyrannies. And if it had sniped, he would have won. Oh, instantly.
Game over.
Yeah.
Was it on Nemesis?
Mine's on Willed. I don't know what's his on.
I mean, if it's on Nemesis, that's that's an AD Tyrannus.
I mean, it can just be like
on Will though.
Huh?
I think he
I
needs
think
to
it
be on
depends.
Will.
Like for AD, he doesn't need to be on Will Smith.
Oh,
Mm.
but like, who does AD? You know what I mean?
Like Tyrannus
True.
is
Who does it?
situational already.
True.
So
But
it depends what you want to counter. If you want Nemesis or Will,
I see.
I would say.
So it looks like druids are being tested out lately, huh? And how's it faring for you from what you've tested, Thompson?
I wrote down a lot of notes,
Oh,
pages and pages of notes.
oh, really? Yeah, let's hear some of those notes. Yeah, for Tyrannies.
There's been a lot of like, well, it's pretty basic. Nothing's really changed. There's been a lot of Josephine, so you need like Josephine counters. Yeah, that's about it. Josephine's like really popular now. Everyone has a Josephine. So like,
I've seen
because of Josephine, you can bring a lot of monsters to counter Josephine. Some of them are Ager, Esna, Diana, Nefti, Shiho, Triana, Gani, Molong, Bird, Arda, Tiana, Feng Yan, Amelia, Bolverk. Yeah, and there's soft counters and hard counters. But mostly she's afraid of like strippers and CCs and stuff like that. Double CC. Yeah.
I really like using Violent Ethna against her.
So there you go. Share some of my knowledge with you guys. Damn.
Oh, damn.
Wait, how many Fangs are you fighting? Because I haven't seen like even the like Amelia Arta people have kind of stopped running Fang. I feel.
Molong Bulwark people pick Fang.
Yeah.
Feng Yan?
Yeah, he's
You still don't even see them picking Fang anymore.
Didn't you say when Inugami is better? What's his name?
Yeah, I did.
Raman.
He might
But
be
we
good.
don't have to go into Raman again.
We're not. We could go
Wait,
there. We can go there for like a few seconds. I don't mind.
Yeah, go
I
there,
would
go
love
there.
to. Yeah, go.
No, but the thing is, I'm trying to get more hyped for Odin. Because, like, I pulled Odin before Ramahan was, like, revealed, his second awakening. And I already gave Odin a bunch of Devamon, so I'm trying to, like, not type up Ramahan too much in favor of Odin.
I want to know.
Because I do feel like Ramahan is better than Odin. Wait, didn't you get Odin from the stones?
No,
Did you get the Shio?
I got 2 Zyros and a Shiho. Yeah,
Okay, then it's okay still, I guess.
Did you have Shiho before?
I did not.
Oh, Shiho's really good.
Yeah, I mean that's the benefit. It's just like a lot of stone.
Yeah.
How many?
Every time I has 13,500.
Oof.
Thompson, you're just nodding like that's an everyday thing.
Shiho,
13,500.
Shiho's actually pretty good against Ethna. I thought like Ethna.
Shiho
I mean,
is pretty good against
Josephine.
everything.
Sorry. Shiho's actually pretty good against Josephine. Like, it's not a bad pick. If they pick Josephine, you pick Shiho. Yeah, it's weird. I thought vice versa.
I honestly find Shiho just good in general. Like, he's a pretty good unit.
He's
Well, I
he's
would-
very solid.
I always thought Josephine counters Shiho, but it's not that big of a counter. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right, let's
You
talk
know
a
what's
little
a
bit.
good unit?
Oh, go ahead.
You know what's a good unit? Lauren.
Have you been
What?
testing it out? I've been hearing
Yeah,
about Lauren.
Lauren.
Yeah.
Lauren is sleeper good. Everyone's
Lauren.
like, it's Lauren. Why would she be good? And then you get shit on by one. And you're like,
Yes.
well, that's why.
What does she do that has been more exceptional since the last change?
She does
Increase her against-
armor break, beneficial strip, and a type bar pushback, right?
And slow.
And slow, right? And is it pretty consistent? Like everybody's, everybody
We think-
gauges how good by how consistent the unit is, right? At stripping and lighting debuffs.
Her decreased attack bar is 100%. The defense break, I think, is 75.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The slow
yeah.
chance is kind of low, but the remove beneficial, I think, is 100%. Isn't it?
It's
Yeah, but it's only one buff, right?
It's
one or
it's the
two?
one buff. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, she hits 2 times, so it's one like buff removal per hit.
And so
But-
what are you using her instead of, or what are you using her for? Like what? Like
I
are you
mean-
just like, oh yeah, Lauren's OP, I'm a draft,
No,
like
no,
second round.
it's not
or-
instead. I just don't have any units, so I have to play with Lauren. But she's pretty good. Like she fulfills the role.
And right now she's fulfilling a stripper role for you, or a
She's
more
like,
of a
she's
control
like a
role.
PvP Hua.
Ah.
I would say that
All
she's
buff
more of
strips
a,
too.
I would say that
she-
she's more of a supportive ager. That makes sense.
What was I going to say?
Do you
Yeah,
put her
less
on?
damage, more of that CC focus.
Do you
Yeah.
put her
and
on?
debuffs.
Do you put her on like Swift Revenge or like Violent Revenge or Violent Will? What do you do
Like,
with
Violent Revenge would be the best, but mine is on Violent Guard because I don't have the Revenge sets. But Violent-
doesn't she need to be like super fast?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, people are running her at 270.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. That is really fast.
I mean, that's not fast for Thompson, but it's still.
You
pretty
didn't
fast.
even phase him. You didn't even when you said
Look at his face.
270,
He's
his
like,
face to reaction didn't even change. You're like 270 Violent Will. He's like,
It phased me a little bit. Come on, man. But have you seen everyone's agers? Oh my god, everyone's agers is like 270. No joke.
really?
I don't
Huh.
hope so.
I
That would be bad. But I've seen a couple that are like 270.
Most of the agers I see are like 270, 280.
really, I guess, yeah. I see a lot slower ones, or I run a slower one because I can't run a fast one. So I just make it slow and make it have a lot of good stats, have a lot of stats, because that's all I can.
You
do.
have insane stats. You have insane.
When
stats, Ryan.
when you hit
Thanks,
ager,
Thanks.
Yeah.
when ager's at a certain speed on Nemesis, he could solo Artemil. True story.
What?
If Arthur doesn't stun.
If Arthur doesn't stun, yeah.
And he gets a lot of chances.
Well, think
against
about it.
Arthur.
For it to solo Artemil, it means it has to take X amount of turns. In X amount of turns, Arto's gonna at least stun once or twice in those
The
rotations.
thing is, like, you don't have to build 85 or 100 crit either. You just need
Yeah,
to land
70
2 right? You
or
land
65.
branding, you land dots, you win. Every time you skill one, if you land one dot,
You need
rotate
crit.
really fast.
You need crit.
yeah,
Well,
you need
do, but I'm saying, like, you're not gonna crit every single time against Artemil.
No, but against Artemil, it needs Nemesis.
I like Nemesis. I like Nemesis Ager. I like it a lot. Right, just getting
So
just
when Ager-
cycling your turns is toxic.
Yeah. When Artemil hits the ager, he gets attack bar, and then he like could get more turns.
Yeah. Like let's say he's skill 2s, right? He gets 50% attack bar, but he gets revenge and Nemesis. He's gonna push him even further, right? So it's yeah, Ager's turn cycling is kind of ridiculous. When you get into that perfect turn cycling violent proc, it's just disgusting. It's just absolutely
Fine,
disgusting.
I'll share some. God damn.
Ooh, some more hot stuff here. Ooh.
But I feel like Arthur still wins the 1-1 like 70%.
Hey, that's pretty juicy, dude.
All right.
That's pretty juicy.
It's all right.
It's all right. It's all right,
It's
guys.
all right.
All right, this is his 20th violent set, so it's a little bit alright.
What happened? That's some bobble crits though. Bobble crit rate.
My age has even less crit rate.
Do you have that going faster than some of your other units? What is that rune in front of?
Huh? I don't know.
Damn it! Damn it! I was trying to extract more information.
Whoa. Extraction, man. What are you
And then everybody's gonna know all his rune stats, like this unit is faster or slower than this. Damn it. Nah, I wouldn't have done that to you. I want to see you do well in SWC, man. Damn it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to see you do it really well, as well as you, Obao. I want to see you do well as well. Yeah.
Hey,
It's still a while to
Obama,
go.
can you admit that US is a little bit tough?
Yeah, US is way tougher than the Europe
It's
one.
hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Not saying that, EU is not tough. I'm just saying, like, US is pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, that's kind of weird, man. Most games, man, EU dominates or Asia dominates. US doesn't win crap, dude. You can go to like any esports
know,
and
right?
United States don't win nothing, man. So it's nice to hear that, we got a little bit more firepower finally compared to like every other
You're
game.
talking about Dota, right?
Dota
Talking about
League,
Dota?
CSGO. Dude, we just losing everything, dude. United States is like, we're not number one, bro. Oh, and it wins in CSGO now, really? Yeah, CSGO is dying, dude.
Even CSGO?
No, not before. EU's dominated
I'm
CSGO.
not trying to go off tangent, but this still baffles me. I think my friend sold a weapon in CSGO for like $5,000. It still baffles me till
Yep.
today.
Pretty
What
nutty.
the hell?
Yeah. I mean,
I think I have an item for sale in Dota for like $200. But
What?
Like for 2 years. So
damn. Yeah, I used to do
it's
a
still
lot
up.
of.
It's still up. It's still up.
I used to do the CSGO skin trading thing before they before one sore loser had to complain and file a lawsuit and then ruin the whole thing for everybody else.
Again, off tangent, but I want to bring this up.
Sure.
What do you think will happen if ComToUs allow account trading, account selling? Like just said it's cool.
Actually, it's an interesting topic because some games
Yep.
do like allow it, right? And it grows a game because people can play and do it and whatnot. But most of them don't, because what happens is when you open that up, it opens it up to more scamming and more hacking issues, which causes more problems, in my opinion. So that's why they're not open to doing that. What do you feel? What else do you guys feel?
Can I ask a clarification on your question? Do you mean just like generalized buying and tradings of accounts, or
Yeah.
do you mean allowing purchased accounts to play in tournaments?
Allow purchasing accounts to play in tournaments and stuff like that.
So I think that's kind of like a region-based issue, right? Because in China server, for example, because all the different COM2Ss are region-based, that's not really an issue. Like they don't really care. But in North America, for example, like if you try to apply to SWC with a purchased account, it's very obvious it's a purchased account. You're not getting in.
Oh, I didn't know that about China accounts.
China server accounts get traded a ton. It's very normal for a player to have been through at least one other account in their time. So most players have played on 2 or 3 accounts.
I honestly want to know, why would you think? I mean, why is it a bad thing? Like, why would that be a bad thing? Like, if an account buyer can join a tournament.
Yeah, I want to know that too.
It paints
looks
a picture
poorly
of,
and it deters the company from being able to sell this idea that you should pay for things in the game instead of just buying an account.
Yeah, so they
Right, so
lose
the
money as well.
punishment, if you purchase the account, and on the merits that you don't get banned, assuming you don't get banned, or the account gets locked out or whatever, then they say, okay, you cannot compete in any tournaments. So it deters you from wanting to do that, right? If you want to compete in tournaments or you want to play at a high level, then they want you to do it on your own account. They want you to spend more money.
Right. It's also really not supported by their business model and what they want to do, so that's why they really deter it. But I like the decision from COM2Ss to not allow that. I think it's the right decision.
Is there even a business model where buying and selling accounts is like favored?
It's called a dead business
for the
model.
company.
It's called a dead business model. When your game is dying, then you're desperate for anything to be allowed and to do anything. So
Yeah, but at that point you're not really making money, are you? Because people are just buying in like between each other.
well, you're just desperate to keep the game alive, and allowing that allows the game to, I guess, keep playing, right? Because then people might want to play. I don't know. I don't know too many games out there that allow it, to be honest. So it's pretty standard that most games deter it.
It's just like, what business model would benefit from buying and selling accounts? Like explicitly allowing for that, right?
I just think it'll be cool if your account is more valuable. You know what I mean? Like you could sell your account and it's valuable. You could play and later on you could sell it. You know?
Kind of like IRL, right? Like trading cards, right? You can build a deck, you can play, and then you can sell the cards after. You know what I mean? Yeah. I get the mentality.
That was my incentive when I started at Summer's War. So, like, that was my incentive. Like, oh man, let's earn some cash. But I just got stuck. So, and now I'm streaming.
Fun game.
All right, back to the topic here. Any other units you guys see in RTA or any comps that you guys are seeing in Special League lately that's been going on besides people testing out druids? Because these are some of the things people are testing that they might bring as side picks moving up forward for the SWC tournaments coming up real soon.
There's a lot of Bastet, way more Bastet than in normal RTA. But I think that's because of the like people can pre-ban Vanessa.
Yeah.
And people haven't really built like their secondary speed leaders. So I feel like if this would go on, the like pre-ban thing, a lot more people would build like some math and stuff like that.
I think people are using Bastet just to get rid of their wings fast. But if you really want to play RTA, like there's too many counters for Bastet. It's like kind of might be pointless to use, you know? What do you think?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are trying to burn their wings. 30 wings of pre-ban take longer, man. It's like 30% more time, basically, into even trying to complete your 30 wings.
Yeah, possibly. Time. But I also tried to use Bastet now, because I also thought that she was kind of lackluster before. But after using her, she's actually pretty good.
That's because you have fast runes. But then, like,
I don't even have that fast runes. I think I'm on the lower end of top 100.
Like 300 speed low, like 300 speed. That's pretty good already, you know. But I think like there's like Vanessa, Triana, Tyrannies, Wadam, just like a bunch of units that counter her. It's really hard to really, if you're trying to compete, like really use her, you know.
Yeah, that's why we're seeing a lot of Tyrannis as well, since there's more Bastet and Cleaves.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so those are some interesting units and interesting insight into the Special League that's going on currently. I think Special League is going on for another week or two, right? I don't know how long exactly.
5 more days.
5 more days. Okay, so less than a week left of the season. But moving on to the next topic here, kind of similar to the topic we just had about Special League. What do you guys want to see in future Special Leagues? Like, what are some other modes that we can come up with and kind of suggest to them? Because I think it's pretty boring to do pre-ban. And I think, you know, some of the 20-star and 4-star under RTAs have been fun. I mean, those are the most fun. Like, let's be real. But what other modes can we suggest? Because they got to come out with more modes, man. And I think
Swap
they will.
the players' monster boxes.
Team.
You always push
Yeah,
for
team
team, and I
would
think that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a very good idea. How would it come into play though? Team.
We live in 2019. There's team for every mode, like every game I play. You know, sucks that like Summoners War is so like single player.
So how does the team aspect work though? How do you 2v2 in real time? Like what is the?
I guess like
mechanic?
you pick 2 monsters, your teammate picks 2 monsters, the opponent picks 2 monsters, you know, vice versa, and 4 monsters go into the battle and fight. I don't know.
And
That sounds pretty
you
simple
guys
for
all
me.
wait for your turn, but then it's hard. Like, what if I go like, we have to be speed tuned to one another, right? So it's like, oh, if I want to play with you, Thompson, like, oh crap, is your Ganny faster than my Hathor then? If I choose Hathor first, and then you chose Ganny after, and we want a Ganny Hathor, we got weird rotations, you know what I mean?
Wouldn't that just make it more fun?
I
though?
mean,
Would
There are
it? Would it?
benefits for Ganymede to move before Hathor, and there are benefits for Hathor moving before Ganymede.
True,
so.
but that was just an example, right? Of like, you know, I'm
mean,
gonna have
yeah.
units, you have units that are differently
that
routed.
that a team
So then,
mode
like, may the best team win.
Oh, okay. I see it. Okay. All right.
I mean, a team mode could actually work in in tournament where you have 2 people like next to each other, and you can like just like.
But you
Yes.
know, before they do team, you know what they have to do, right?
Yeah. Live chat mode. Chat. Talk to your friends. Talk to your opponents. Type and voice and emotes. Right? He's so excited
Yeah.
for that. He's very passionate about that. I hope they do that, man. I really hope they release that. Yeah, being able to talk to your opponent. No other comment for me for that? Okay. Yeah, any other modes that you guys want to see?
I just want them to like test random thing. Anytime they have an idea, like, hey, this new mode might be interesting, just have a special league for it. Like, why not? It's 2 weeks of just dick around and have fun.
Honestly, since it's like only 2 weeks, they could try like stuff like they do for Labyrinth. It's like speed limit, explode, and stuff like that, but in RTA. So imagine like Verd and Ager when it's a like explode league. They're gonna turn cycle and then they just blow up from the bombs.
What if they did some like funky
And that's kind of
modes?
easy for them to do.
I mean,
Like,
I want to see like blind pick mode where like you can't see who your opponent, can't see their flag, can't see their name, just pick. Like you see the monsters they're picking, but that's all you see.
Oh, that would be pretty cool too, actually.
That would suck, man.
That's the fun part, dude.
Like,
Yeah.
imagine you blind pick against me. You're like, oh shit, you know, oh my god, I knew it. It's like Arda, you
That's
know,
fun.
Neftis, Gianna. You're like, that's
That's
like
fun.
maybe
Sure,
a mode where you can't use light and dark nat 5s. Because everyone has all the elemental nat 5s, right? Just a fair.
Coming from
Fair
you.
battle.
Coming from you. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't mind, man.
Ah.
It is what it is. Whatever.
It's
makes
special
it
league. That's
more
true.
fun. Yeah.
What about a mode where you only can choose certain certain elements? Yeah, like this.
I can do that for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do it for 2 weeks.
No LD Nat 5s for 2 weeks. Confirm. Yeah, I think one attribute would be kind of interesting to see, right? Like maybe the season is like, you know, a week or 2 long, and they do like 2 different elements. Like 1 week is this element, another week is this element. Or I mean, other things I thought of is like maybe if they made it where the whole special league is like full RNG.
Can I be honest?
Sure.
I saw like a YBCB like tournament, and he said like, oh, the tournament is like you can only use fire nat 5s or something like that, or fire monsters.
Right.
It's a boring tournament to watch, man.
Really, you don't like the only one element?
I think like part of Summoner's War is like having like, you know, rock paper scissors. Well, okay. It is.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But then
All
like
right.
part of Summoner's War is like anyway. I think it's boring because I did watch a tournament like that and did not enjoy it. So I don't know how it's going to look like in a competitive level, but yeah.
But it could be interesting if they just like disable elemental disadvantage and advantage for one special league.
Ooh.
Because then other counters appear that Otherwise, don't counter certain units because of elements.
Yeah, I agree.
So that could be fun. Let's see what
Yeah, to
happens.
shift the meta somewhat.
Right.
Yeah, just for 2 weeks.
Because I feel like they can mess around with it and like have various comps and or various rules for RTA Special League, and people won't be upset, right? Like if it's regular season, they have to be very, very careful on what they implement and what they allow. But if it's Special League, people don't care as much, right? So it's for fun, right? So even if it's like, let's say for example, double all the probabilities of Despair Stuns and Violent Procs, or YOLO speed, where it doesn't matter what the speed of the units are, every turn or every unit moves at a different turn randomly. You know what I mean? Like Epic 7, like it gives a random, 5 speed.
Don't do that.
No, just for Special League though. It's for Special League, right? It's YOLO. It's random. You know what I mean?
Don't do that, Brian. Don't suggest these
What?
things.
I like these RNG things, man.
Don't
They're fun.
suggest RNG speed.
I
any
not
game.
into regular aspects of the game, but into a fun aspect of the game, right? A YOLO aspect. All these weird RNG. What are you? What is? Anyways, any other suggestions for any Special League? Anything else you guys want to see? 3-star under, 2-star under.
I mean, all we like, it would just be good to like see to see some different stuff. Like we get Special League, but we've got like they've played the same mode. Like we've only got like Special League 1-star. Like no, what have we got? We got 4 stars. And we
4-star
got
under and 20-star, and then pre-bet.
20-star. Yeah. Like
it.
just adding something. Like I really don't know. Like anything they put in, I would play it.
What if they do NAF 5s only? Like the other side of the spectrum.
NAF 5, like you pick, like you're thinking like pay to win kind of like you're thinking a whale, like
Well,
you're in a
there's, like-
whale mode right now.
There's like free to play NAF 5s too, like Jean, Theomars, whatever, or like Awaken NAF 5s. Awaken NAF 3s could be NAF 5s too.
What's happening? What's happening?
I have no idea what's going on today.
Yeah,
I
what's up,
actually,
guys?
I actually have no idea what's going on today. But it's.
I guess this
it's
is the
going
thing
on.
now, huh?
I guess it's a thing now.
Okay, well, how about I one up you guys? What else can we do here?
Like make a hole through your nipples and just show them.
Yeah. So this is because
Oh, okay.
dimensional hole content was so easy to clear. This is now content because there's no Summoners War content anymore. This has become content now. This is it, huh, chat? This is it. Okay. Well, this is the stream then.
Oh man.
Anyways, all right, let's move on to the next topic here. Those are some interesting modes that we've suggested as well. We're going to move on to topic number 3. SWC is beginning. What are you looking forward to? I believe we just started this week. I think this weekend was, I saw you, Takeshi, you were commentating for the EU preliminaries. I think there's 4 weeks of it. This week was the first week. Maybe you want to let us know who made it through, as well as if you know, as well as if NA and stuff are going to be starting up soon. From what
I really have no clue when it comes to NA.
Okay.
But who made it through the group A? It was Chen and it was Razist. So like double baguettes.
Double baguettes.
Those are the predicted ones too, right?
Yeah, I think they were
There's
predicted.
a couple of people. Chen,
How did
Chen's
Shen
pretty strong
got
still.
past the bracket using Helena?
I really don't know. To be
Do you
honest,
guys
it's
not
not.
have like Shiho, Ager, and like other stuff like that?
I don't know.
Honestly-
that was a weird group. No one
It
used
was a
Hot.
weird group, but like I think he said that he didn't even train for like SWC, so he didn't even play like he only got G1 this season. So
Did he pick Artemil and
Huh?
Ragdoll?
I only
It got banned. Like it got
Yeah.
it took turns getting banned.
He never chose
Yeah.
Wedge right? I didn't see the whole
No,
match.
no.
No Wedge.
only the last game he was when he played Arta, but the Ragdoll was banned all the time.
But then Helena, why don't you just bring like double immunity or like revenge monsters or Bird or
When did he
something like
draft it? Helena's usually drafted late, so I mean he must have found an opportunity to draft it.
Oh man,
Okay,
I don't remember
but-
when it
yeah.
was Helena.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of like people trying different stuff. I don't know why. Like there was like I think the last game. No, it wasn't the last game. He fought Ududu. Oh man, shit, I have to go back to that. But he fought Ududu, which usually drafts twins. And he always plays twins. I don't know. He only played the one twin the first game. He won that game, but the next two, he plays something different. They lost both.
I think didn't he play something different because he got his Bastet banned out?
I don't think it was because of the Bastet. It was just like it felt like he was trying to show off, not show off, but more like show that he can play something else, and it backfired.
That sucks.
Yeah, but like Chen, like they didn't really use their meta teams, to be honest.
I also saw one match where if the other guy banned Artemil, I think he won, but he let Artemil through.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of misplays.
Yeah, it was a lot of misplays, a lot, and I don't know if they were nervous or they just wanted to like really show off to the like in the tournament.
I think oftentimes it comes down to nerves because it's different from playing your regular RTAs when you're playing it and it's actually for something. So it really shows how good of a player is though, because it's all these extra factors that come in, and that's why I feel that players that have played in tournaments before and have participated already actually have an advantage because they've been through it, they felt it, and now they can be more focused. Whereas new players coming in for the prelims and not are wary on what's going on.
I think I did take a look at the brackets, and it looked like Obabo has a pretty hard bracket.
Yeah, who's in your group, Obabo?
DGP, Stoned, and who was it? Do you know the last one, Taki? Serpolita.
I'm opening my PDF. Give me a
Yeah, Serpolita, DGP, and
That's tough.
I think Obabo might have the toughest bracket.
I think that's the toughest bracket. That is the toughest.
Yeah. What do you think? How about what is your guys' opinion on the Obabo's group? It's the hardest one, right?
It's got some names that are pretty well known.
I think Zerpolita's favored though. Who is he fighting in the first round? Are you fighting DGP?
We don't know yet. Who we're
So
fighting.
it's DGP.
I think if Zerpolita doesn't have to fight DGP, I think he wins. So like if you beat DGP in the first round, I think Zerpolita will win.
Isn't Zerpolita? I'm not sure, but isn't he the one with Ragdoll?
Yeah, it's Ragdoll.
So if you just ban his Ragdoll, like
He's still a very solid player. No, he has a lot of options.
He has got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's a very solid player.
I'm gonna end first in my group.
Oh, let me get some
you
easies.
first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Dude,
So
island
I'm
easies.
Listen, I'm gonna say it right now. If Obaba
I'm rooting for you, Obabo.
doesn't get first place in the group stages, like I'm gonna cut off my balls. Okay.
I like DGP too. I met the guy. He's really nice. I'm gonna root for Obabo and DGP.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you do pretty good, Baba. You're very confident, dude. I hope you win it, man, and they get through. But I think it's 2 out of the 4 make it through, right? That's how it works, right? So all you have to do is make sure you win the first one. Doesn't mean you make it through, right? Or it does.
No, you have to win 2.
You have to win 2. So you have to win the first one because losers have a chance to win back and get into it still, right? So even if you lose the first one, you can still get through. You just have to win more, right?
Yeah, you just have to win 2 in a row, pretty much.
Okay.
Like if you lose your first game, you have to win 2 in a row, and then you get through.
Does anybody know when the North America one starts? You have to participate in the prelims as well, right, Thompson?
I have to participate. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what group you're in, or do you know your group or whatnot yet? Have you looked? They didn't release the NA ones. They didn't release. Oh, so it's only EU that's been released.
Yeah.
I heard the schedule is released on like when they're doing stuff, but I guess
I think they want to keep it under wraps. I don't know.
Oh, I see. I'm interested to see who's in there. Do you know who your like the competitors total? Like who are some of the names?
Yeah, no, I'll look. The names are already out. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just like you don't know who's fighting who until like later on this week.
I see. All right, let's go into the next topic here. That was it's very interesting. I'm still looking forward to SWC. Prelims are starting up, so the excitement is brewing here. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think 4 weeks of this, and then
a lot of work.
Yep.
A lot of work. Me and Obabo probably not sleeping this week.
Yeah.
Really?
How much
But I have
notes I'm
some.
writing. Yeah.
Like my group is the last one, so I have until like middle of August to prepare.
Oh, okay.
Oh. And I'm sure at the same time you're taking down data of these other players that are currently competing as well, right? Especially if you're expecting to make it through. I mean, it's good to have all the data on these prelim matches that are also happening outside of your group.
Yeah, I mean I'm gonna watch the matches, but I can't really track data of the ones in my group.
You just need a notebook,
Yeah,
just like
I don't think I
Tom
need.
said. You just need a notebook. Just write
I
everything
like
down.
writing things down. I'm old school like that. I don't know why. Yeah.
You're smart. Do they let you bring that to the tournament? I don't know
No,
if they do,
but-
huh?
Even though I write things down, it's mostly in my head. You know, it's just like to like refresh my memory. You know.
They say there's a habit if you write it down, you'll remember it better.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like that for me. And sometimes when I'm like farming, I could read my notes too and stuff like that. You know.
Not the same for me in college, man. I wrote everything down. I took all the notes. I had no idea what the hell I wrote. I was just writing
I
stuff.
think that's where I got habits from and stuff. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to topic number 4 here. Yeah, we're blazing through these today. Topic number 4 is general monster buff and nerf discussion. We always have these discussions. What do you think? Yeah, what else is gonna get changed? Yeah, just general RTA discussions, talk, SWC coming up. What do you want to see changed? What nerfed? Yeah, we kind of talked briefly about it last week on, we don't really think there's gonna be a huge nerf that's gonna happen, right? Or we don't even know if there's really gonna be a balance patch. But if there is, me personally, I'm expecting them to buff units that are maybe not seen, so that we might see them in SW gameplay, right? So, any ideas on some of these
Okay.
units?
Remember every week I'm like, hey, buff Artemil. I mean, not sorry.
Whoa!
I don't mean sorry. I take that back.
Whoa,
Remember every week
okay.
I said I let my heart out. I spoke my mind. Exposed. No, remember every week I said nerf Antares?
Yep, you've been saying that every
Did
week.
you guys see the new-
Barcode tier list?
Barcode tier list?
No, I didn't see.
I'll link it to you 1 second.
No, I'll just put it up. It's fine.
Yeah, put it up because I can't see it right now with this. Yeah, zoom in a little more. Yeah, zoom in like that.
Put an Antares inside of Elia's hand too. In
Oh,
the
they
bottom
put
right
it-
corner.
Right here.
He's so good. He's the
So-
entire tier list.
Like I'm not like it was not my own opinion. It's true. It's like I'm not coming on stream and pontificating about like how I feel. It's like really the monster's pretty busted.
So how to change him then? Because I think changing him for SWC is potentially something we might see if there is a balance patch, right? Well, how do you think he needs to be changed without destroying what they've already kind of given him, right? And giving like who
They have
he
to
is.
They have to nerf how much he gains per turn that he doesn't proc. Because right now it's just flat 15%, right? Every single turn.
Pretty sure it is because I
Yeah,
got
and
7
that's-
and it procs.
I thought it would be like 3% when they did it. So I feel like at
We
least put it
were
up
actually
five.
all of us were on the podcast when that
Yeah.
came out, and I was like, I think it's double,
I just got gangbanged, man.
and everyone's
When-
like, there's
when
no
I
way
talk
it's double.
about-
That's ridiculous.
When I'm talking about nerfing like Antares, everyone just say, "Oh, nerf this, nerf that, nerf this," and no one like the problem is Antares, right? Yeah.
So from what we assume, it's 50. He gains 15%, so his passive doubles every. So 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, and then you go to 100, and then you.
So some people are saying make a cooldown on the passive. What do you think where he has to take a turn to refresh it? Because what happens oftentimes is that as your opponent is taking turns, he's cutting multiple times. And I think that's
You know
not
what we're
fair.
gonna see?
But
You know
if-
what we're gonna see if that's
What?
the thing, Brian. It's
What?
gonna be Josephine, but it's gonna be a repeat of Josephine.
you think so?
People are just gonna build him on violence so he can just proc indefinitely.
Well, I mean, no, but he still has to get his turn, right? So let's say
He'll
he
get
has.
the turn, and then he
How
violence
does he get
procs
the
and
turn?
he gets his passive back,
Oh.
Here's my
and then it becomes
issue.
Josephine.
here's my issue with Antares. It's not just like he's not just keeping like the Dianas in check, but like imagine like the opponent picks like Ager and then picks Diana next, like Ager, Diana, and Fran or whatever, and you want to answer against like or Ager and win Monkey King, and you need a fire damage dealer. Who is a good fire damage dealer right now?
Okay, wait. So I have an idea actually,
Daphnis.
because I'm thinking a lot when I'm trying to sleep. I was thinking of like balancing monsters,
Mhm.
and I was thinking of Rakan.
We're kind of all in on Daphnis. Sorry.
It's pretty weird, but what if you make Rakan defense scaling? And either make so his second skill gives him defense buff or just keep the attack buff. Like
It is
defense
bad.
scaling would make way more sense. on
You
a
can't
character.
say that
His
because
leadership's
like wouldn't
50% HP.
Kumar or Ritesh be better defense?
What did you say, Tyler?
So you take him off of defense setup, like Thompson's saying, but his leader skill is also 50% HP.
Yeah, but that's
they
fine
made him
still.
defense type, like it's kind of non-synergetic. And
But it's
Thompson's right.
even
He
not- I don't
becomes
think
completely
it's
irrelevant for
non-synergetic.
defense. You could never use him for defense because he just die too easy. Because the HP scaling fire monsters are the ones that are threats on defense.
But if they
Wait, I'm
nerf
talking for
and
RTA.
they
we're
I'm
talking about
for, like,
RTA.
counter
fire
to
damage
Gang
dealer.
Arthur.
Sorry, Bobo, you go ahead.
Wait, what happened?
No, what you
What
say
are we
again? Just
ta-
repeat what you
what-
just said. Just repeat
What are we
said.
talking
Yeah,
about?
Okay, so like Rakan is bad in RTA because he has to, because like when you have Rakan in the game, you're stalling out the game, but then it's HP scaling, so then he doesn't do anything late game. So if you instead make him defense scaling, it would synergize way more with Vampire, which would make sense for his third skill, and like then it would actually be scary against Generator.
We're strictly talking about RTA,
Rakan.
not like we're not talking about like.
I don't
defense.
think it would be as strong against I don't think it'll be that strong against Ganythor still. The issue
Generator
is you
would
can still CC him forever.
Yeah, they
Oh,
need to
So I
rework
think
Rakan.
if you want the monsters to be RTA worthy, then you got to change the beast monks to defense scaling as well, right? Because you can't use the beast monks for the same reason.
Yeah, they're good in
The
Guild
only,
Wars.
the only one you can use is Rahul. And even then, it's like really hard to use Rahul because the base speed is bad.
Yeah, the reason why I think they're not going to change some units is because some units strive in different areas of the game, right? Like like Beast Monks are very good in guild content. I feel, you know what I mean? A lot of
So,
guild content, they're solid.
What
but-
Obabo is trying to say is that if they nerf Antares, you need another fire damage dealing unit, and that's what I'm trying to say. You know,
right? So,
like who's a good fire damage dealing unit?
Buff
you know? I'm
Leica.
not picking.
seriously, no meme. Like actually, seriously, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
units that need to be fixed. What if they made a new mechanic for Rakan? Do you think you would
Why
use it?
don't they just rebuff? Why don't they just buff Fire Monkey King? I feel like that unit is easier to work with.
We
'cause
talked
it's
about
kind of
that.
an
How would
open-
we do it though? How would
So,
we
so
do it?
the reason I say Fire Monkey King is because it's an open slate, right? It's a clean slate. With Leica, you already have this high level of expectation that will never be met again unless you give it the exact same thing it had, which was no lie. That was OP. That was straight OP.
You think it's still OP now if they did it?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
If they gave back his counter, no. If they nerfed
It was
or
counter
changed it,
stun.
no. If they nerfed and changed it exactly how we a lot of people suggested, which was to change the probabilities, make it so it wasn't 100% chance to stun or 100% chance to counterattack or something. People said.
Then I would just be the thing with the danger with changing harmful effect rates is you run into this issue. Inconsistency causes frustration on both sides, right? Long Skill 2 is a perfect example of that. People hated it because it had the potential to do everything. And then people who used it were like, wow, this fucking sucks because you do nothing, right? That having that low harmful effect rate just leaves tons of room for inconsistency and frustration, right? That's why people are so mad at the Iris nerf when they did that. They lowered her harmful effect rate instead of lowering her healing. So instead of being 100% strip, now she's like 65, but she still heals for 19.5% per turn.
Yeah, but they
Right.
completely.
Look at
You're
Celia, right?
talking about
Celia got
nerfing
bug-fixed.
harmful effect rates, and they completely took out the effect rate. They completely took out the stun. I feel that's even worse because Leica's actually unusable. Whereas Iris, they reduced the harmful effect rate. It's less consistent, but it's still usable, right?
She's
so they did
fucking
something even
horrible
more.
on off. Nobody uses Iris on off.
But at least she's still usable. You can't even use a
put her
Leica
on
anymore after the
defense,
nerf,
and
right?
even then, like she just has bad. Like the only reason you do it is because she's light. She's got 105 base. She's got less than 10k HP.
Right.
She's not that good of a unit, to be honest. But like, I mean, I don't disagree that Leica should get something. I disagree that changing the harmful effect rate is the way. People might think in theory, like, okay, harmful effect rate change, it's still balanced, it still has the mechanic we want it to have. But what a lot of people don't see past is like how frustrating that's going to be. If you change something from like 50 to 25, you're already like, oh man, didn't land it, is now going to be like, well, fuck, now I'm never going to land it.
If they're gonna buff Leica, bottom line is they gotta buff the shit out of him because like all the fire damage dealers are on check by like Shiho and Agers. Like look how scary the Agers are nowadays. Like 280 speed. Like you know
That one's
all
more
the
of an issue.
Shihos are like
overtuning.
290
They overtune those units a ton.
right? Yeah, and like there are monsters like Perna. There's monsters that are awesome, but you really can't use them anymore because of these crazy ass water monsters. You know.
So what if
So
they
maybe
what if they just
They
made
gotta
like
really buff
a
the shit out of him.
what if they just made like a just 100% counterattack, right? Whenever you touch him, he counters, and his counterattack is 100% damage instead of 75 because counterattack damage is 75. I think that would actually just make him more useful already just by doing that, right? Being able to make him consistently counter instead of not being able to counter. Because when you can counter, you can heal yourself up, right? And it becomes harder to kill him, right? With that, you know, he only can take X amount of damage. I think that'd be fine, right? He doesn't need to have the stun back again. Then I don't know. Yeah, some way to make him a little bit more consistent at least at what he's trying to do, right? Because right now he's not consistent at all what he's doing. But
And
yeah,
the big benefits and nice things about Leica's kit is that you have 2-turn justice, you cannot glance, and I guess like the 35% damage is nice, but I don't feel like it's enough. I mean, his damage output is good, but the
I know
problem
you
is
guys-
like it's just not good enough compared to like the water units out there right now. The water units just deal with it so well because Aegir and Shio exist.
And you guys might not feel like this, but I hope with the Leica buff, or maybe the Chow buff and the Leica buff, that Jaeger gets an intangible buff as well. You know, like Jaeger gets buffed as well.
I think
Like-
one of the hardest part about buffing these units is that these are the units that have passive. So they have 2 skills that are like common within their family, and then it's a passive. It's not like they have a 3rd skill, so they have to balance how unique that is, right? Passive units are traditionally really, really strong, right? Perna was really strong for a long time. Vanessa's really strong right now. Triana's really strong. Iris was really strong back in the day. You look at units like Diana, Helena, you have units like Tianlang, right? Passive units are always really, really strong, which is why for a while Tessarian was so popular. But now that we have these other units that don't need passives, that have these ridiculous skill kits, the units with passives have to be like, it's really hard to like balance them in.
Tessarion's one of those units that suffer from like Aegir and Shiho and stuff. It's still a really good unit, but like it's man, these water single target damage dealers are pretty crazy, you know. Hopefully, Antares is the only monster really keeping them at bay, right? So hopefully
going back to it, then what do you think that needs to be done about Antares? Since it's obviously that there's an issue with it, right? What needs to
I
be
think
changed about
Antares
it?
is the only fire damage dealer as of right now that's consistent, you know? Like, Daphnis is good, but, like, if you let it go, they're kind of banking on that one monster. And if Daphnis does his move and you kill Daphnis afterwards, it's kind of useless as well, you know?
I mean, maybe in higher level RTAs you don't see as many Pernas, but I think Perna is still a very consistent damage dealer that can be used. I know I don't value my Perna as much anymore in RTA.
Yeah.
I use it mostly in Guild Wars and whatnot, but I think it's still a very solid unit that should be up there as well as a damage dealer for competitive
It's
play.
decent. Yeah, but not for competitive play, but it's still decent, you know? It's just like the Shiho. Look how scary all the Aegers are, man. You hit the Aegir, it's going to get
the
attack
real
bar.
issue is, I think the real issue is Shiho Aegir, right?
True then. Okay.
Because of
What if-
Shiho
what-
and Aegir, because of their buffs, so many other units are no longer viable, quote unquote. I mean, when you look at the tier list that Barco gave us as well, and for the most part, I agree with most of it. I'd say like everything from the like conk range up is pretty accurate, minus maybe a couple things in small differences.
Isis.
Yeah, there's a couple weird
Isis
outliers
higher than
there.
Oberon and Necroma.
But like there are some things in here where it's just like you realize, okay, he put Julian, Ikares, Garo, and Perna on the same like level. And the reason for that is because you really can't draft them that much anymore. Like they're really, really hard to draft. But they're very strong in their own respect. Like if you get a good draft for them, they do amazing.
Yeah,
But
everybody's
you
like,
can only draft those units like 1 in 30 matches.
oh, you should use Julian, Brian. Like, why don't you use Julian, Brian? It's like, dude, I can't draft it, man. They bring shit I can't draft. There's like more important stuff to bring in. I can never pick it.
Hathor is keeping Julian in check too. You
Like
know?
if I was gonna bring in a
And then
damage
you
dealer,
have
Too much.
I would
well,
take
then
in
you put
Julian
Sierra,
instead
you
of
have
Perna.
Juno.
Exactly.
I know.
It's just so much better against all the CC.
You know what's your what problem you're like? What kind of problem you have, Brian? Is
What's that?
that you have too many too many units.
Yeah, I know. I narrowed my pull down a lot into from before. There was a lot
I
more
disagree.
units. Yeah.
I disagree. I feel like you need a whole bunch of units ruined up with like good efficiency, you know?
I actually think Brian's issue is that he just doesn't play enough RTA.
That's
Like,
true.
It's just the time
That's true.
invested into RTA. Like he knows how to do
I
it,
only have like
He knows
200
how to do
something
it.
wings. Yeah.
but like every season it's like 200 wings, whereas the rest of us have like I don't consider myself a heavy RTA player. I still do like 700-800 a season.
A lot heavier than me, dude. I
Thompson
consider
does, like,
myself
1600.
I consider myself hella washed up, dude. I'm like super washed up.
Not 1600.
How many wings did you do last season?
Oh, I could check.
It's got to be over 1,000. Right?
And you know, it's actually evident. I mean, like who in your mind is a very clean RTA player? all the players that are like top 5, even I would even say Topa, they're very clean players in terms of their pick and bans and their choices of how to use their skills, right? It doesn't mean that, you know, they're better players than other people, but they're very clean players. It's evident because of how many wings they do. Topa did like fucking like 10 million wings, dude. Like 50 billion wings, right? So it's just the more you do.
Something to
that's all
also
it is.
note with like being a really
I don't
clean
know
player
about
is-
I don't know about clean players, but I know there's a pattern that all the high level RTA player has, and that's what I was talking about with Takish earlier. Like it's a like high efficiency matters when you're in RTA, especially like and people don't care that much about efficiency, but like it's a combination of 4 units being high efficiency that makes a big difference. So like it's not just bringing one monster with like over 100 efficiency and then 3 monsters like 90. It's being like 4 monsters all high efficiency, and it really adds up. It's a collective effort of efficiency that really makes a difference in a battle.
I agree, but it's oftentimes the hardest part I had was when I had so many units ruined up was what to choose and what to use. I had a really difficult time because I had so many units ruined up and I could have chose from. So it was pretty difficult. But once I narrowed it down, honestly, I'm gonna speak truthfully. I just kind of watch Topa a lot and just copy him because his playstyle is very just Ganny Hathor everything. You know what I mean? So like our comps are very similar. Like the only difference is he has Yunhong, right? And then I have Vanessa. That's the only difference. But everything else is very similar.
The only difference.
Yeah. Yunhong is a pretty big difference though, but everything else is pretty similar to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that. I feel like it's important to have a lot of monsters ruined up well, collective.
I think that becomes more important after the experience factor. Like when you're very, very comfortable with your account, and you're comfortable playing RTA and playing multiple styles, then that's definitely a huge factor. But I don't think a lot of players are super comfortable playing with like multiple different styles of play. Like I suck at using Ganny Hathor because I don't like it. Right? I have very little experience using it, so I use it, I get greedy, and I make a mistake, and I lose. But I'm very used to using like a damage focused comp where I either snipe a unit or I play super aggressively. Right. So for me, it's better for me to work on those like 8 to 10 units that focus on that damage comps and not super hard focus on my Ganny Hathor setup. Right. But if I wanted to be a better player, then the importance would be stressing how to use all of those things, or use all the tools you have. So like, I agree with you. It's just that I don't think most players are at that point where that is the most important thing for them to improve. Do you know what I mean?
Ooh, okay. Look what I just got from Dimensional Hole.
Can you take a
Yes,
screenshot and upload it to the Discord chat?
It's an accuracy
No,
rune.
it's accuracy, but it's wait, I can
Oh yeah,
Too?
I got
6% HP,
like similar one.
7 crit damage, 5 crit rates. I mean, it's not that
Nice.
amazing, but it's
Could be
something.
good. Could be good.
That's the worst one you could get.
Okay,
if
one
that
more
was
thing
Will,
that I wanted to bring up.
that
'cause
was
of the
Will,
tier
I was-
list. Bella's on this tier list in like the middle ground area with like Juno and A, and a lot of people don't really. Oh, that's pretty nice. What the hell is that?
7
Ooh.
speed, 9
9
crit
crit
damage.
damage.
Oh my god.
Fuck you.
So one of my guildmates, well actually
Roll it.
old guildmates, Aknova, pulled a despair slot 6 ancient rune and rolled 32 HP, 12 crit, 7 speed, and 8% defense or something. I was like, that's almost perfect rolls. It's like 2% off perfect or something. Sorry, like I was saying, with this tier list, someone was like laughing that Bella's on, but like Second Awakened Bella is really good. Second Awakened Bella enables the Ganny Hathor setup and the CC comp setup really well. You get 45% attack bar, right? Or you have big heals, big attack bar. Second skill you can use to strip, or you can rotate for extra attack bar gain for yourself. Skill 1's a defense break, and it reduces attack bar, and you have 108 base speed with really good base stats now.
But this has to be an old tier list, right?
No,
No, this tier list is like yesterday.
Is it really? Because I feel like it's
Very
very
recent.
outdated.
I
Well,
don't know.
it
if
has to
this
be pretty
matters.
recent because it has Second Awakens on it.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But like the second that I see Triton in Conquer tier, and
So
and
okay,
Tiana in
you
Legend
have to remember
tier,
the
I
tier
feel like
list.
the
The
whole
tier list basis
is-
here is not that like how good a unit is. It's about how well you can draft a unit, right? Like Triton is very, but there are like a billion matches where picking Triton does nothing. Right?
Triton is-
Even
like
even if
Triton's-
Triton's a god unit at his one like his respective job, he's perfect countercleave. He's very good for like a Swift CC comp. But like,
I mean,
how often do you actually pick Triton?
but then Pater should also be in like Conqueror because he's only against Hathor.
I don't.
So he should also be in
I
Conqueror.
don't agree with that.
Back to Baladian. I've been bringing. I don't know if it matters, but I've been bringing Baladian into
What unit?
the Second Awakening one into
Baladian?
Bella. I've been bringing Bella into those Skogul comps, and it's great. Yeah, I don't know. Like for a 4-star siege, you bring Bella, and when the rock drops, you could heal everybody back up.
He's basically saying he doesn't like second awakening units. Thompson's already said it before in the past that he doesn't think they're game changing for especially endgame RTA gameplay, which is true.
I'm not saying that. I'm not
You
saying
said
that.
that
I'm saying
before though. You said that before though.
Okay, I'm saying that Bella is really good against Skogul in the 4-star defense. You try it out. That's it.
Like I wanted to say something about like a buff for Leica. Like going back to like.
Sure, I changed the topic to open discussion, so whatever you can go on any tangents you guys
you
want.
did?
Yep.
Oh, I'm Gucci then. What would you feel about like this? Might be too overpowered, but how about you can't ATB control a Leica?
Oh, so you can't ager it?
You can't ager it.
Ah,
Like just
I like that.
I like that.
So
I
I
like
think
that
it'd be
too.
nice, but at the same time, wouldn't the issue still be that you could just stun it?
It has high
something like
resistance
that.
though, so the chance of you stunning it is low. It
Yeah, wait,
weakens to 2 resistance.
You can't CC it.
Most
How about
Lycas are in a
anti-CC
high resistance.
You can't CC it. Get out of here.
Like,
Let's just
okay,
throw that to
well,
everybody, yeah? You becoming a
It's good to
chroma.
know.
You becoming a
we've
chroma.
now fucked Fire Monkey King again. He's now even more useless. Jaeger's also now even more useless.
Well, what they could do is instead of like it can't be CC'd, when it gets CC'd, it gets like 20% attack bar.
How about innate nemesis?
Like, for itself, not for
Innate,
everybody.
how about innate nemesis? That's a new mechanic, kind of.
Yeah,
ish.
exactly. Well, a lot of people have it, but okay.
Yeah, innate nemesis for it. Every time you proc the that 33%, like you pass
Ragdoll.
that threshold.
Diana, everybody has
Suddenly,
it.
a fucking Garo now too.
Yeah, that's.
But why is a Gato better than a Leica, man? Like,
It is.
damn,
Well,
dude.
the speed
Not
scaling damage is
anymore.
pretty nice, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
So-
it's. I think the biggest factor is that he has a stun.
Who? Oh, Gato. Yeah, he has
Garo,
a stun.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Garo's stun
Yeah,
is
and speed
nuts.
lead.
So Justice
also
should
good.
stun then.
It won't be enough. Like I said, it won't be enough to keep the Ager and the Fire Monkey. I mean, the Water Monkey in check.
As I said, anti-CC. Just go anti-CC. Like a chroma. Like
You
give
know
him
what
a
would be
chroma.
really sick, but over two? If you imagine if you feed a Rakuni into Leica, it gets the Rakuni passive. That's it. GG. Oh my god. Best monster ever.
Oh my god.
Just give it that chroma passive, and it's enough.
Nah, they shouldn't do that, dude. They're not
But I
gonna
feel
do
like
that.
a chroma passive is reserved for Fire Monkey and not Leica. Leica should have something else.
Yeah, if they're gonna give that, it would be to Fire Monkey. They need to give it to Fire Monkey. But then that makes a chroma less valuable. Then that's Comptos is, respectively, like destroying an LD Nat 5 for a lot of players.
Yeah,
Just-
I don't think
just-
they should do that.
They don't need to like put the anti-crit. So a chroma has the anti-crit then.
I think
Why do we
either
have
of them
to-
should
why do
get
we have
that.
to make
They should
Leica
get
the
that buff.
strongest unit out there. Why can't we just make him good?
Like no attack bar reduction is allowed for Fire Monkey King or Leica. I think we talked about that before, right? Because that makes Fire Monkey King a little bit more powerful against like Hathor and stuff, not being able to be attack bar reduced. So
I don't think like Comptos they're not gonna give Leica his stun back ever again because it's gonna be kind of like them admitting that they fucked up,
no, they don't. That doesn't mean that. That just mean meta changed, and now that this new mechanic is maybe not as
Exactly.
bad now.
I would love to have the stun
Hey,
back, but it'll be kind of like
what we're
Lakers
doing right
video.
now.
What are we doing?
We're doing that thing that we're complaining where we want units to be overbuffed. Right? Ager and Shiho, we basically just want that with Leica and Meiho Wong. It's like
It's
not really a good idea.
It's never ending, dude.
The
It's
problem
never
is some
ending.
people will think we're serious about it, right? Some people will be
Well,
like,
we
oh,
need-
they actually
we
want these
need
units to be gods.
I mean, we want a fire counter too. Like, we want a fire unit that can be viable against like Ager and Water Monkey. So we
Well,
have
so
to, like-
okay, but theoretically, that should be Leica. And the only reason it should be Leica is because he can't glance.
Brian's onto something.
Yo, I got
What?
it. You know our question earlier about special modes? They should bring back old patches for special mode. Leica with the stun again. Like
Tableau.
Danny with strip again. Tableau. Dude, if they did that for special league, I would play that, dude. I would gear them and play it, dude. Like just for special league. Like bring back some of the old and hottest like things. Like Danny strip skill 1 comes back for just that mode. Leica stun comes back. What else? Tableau comes back.
It has
Like
to be the most powerful version.
You know what? You know what? Chasoon
huh?
with the lower cooldown.
Yun Hong with a lower cooldown. Ragdoll with 5% more attack gauge. Yeah. Artemil. Oh wait, still OP. Anyways.
Tableau pre-nerf.
That would be so more long, even though I don't have it. More long back to how it was. Yeah. Daphnis back to the way he never mind. I think it would be a super fun mode if they did that. Anyway, sorry.
Something worth mentioning to chat, and people always say this, like we'll talk about a unit and they'll be like, well, what about this other unit that should be buffed? A good example is people always say Chow. When we talk about Leica, people are like, well, why don't you guys talk about Chow? The reason we don't talk about Chow is because in RTA there are already very good water options, and there are not that many good fire options right now.
Hey, man,
which is why we're talking about fire options.
Chow used to be top tier, man. Chow used to be like
we understand. Yeah, I mean 10k
SS.
Chow, right? 10k Chow.
Yeah.
We understand that units are like weak and should be changed, but because we're mainly talking about RTA balance, it's not as important to talk about another water unit right now than it is maybe later down the road. No, I think Chow is fucking garbage in RTA.
Do we have it? Do we have any?
Guild Wars.
Do we have any wind damage dealers? I feel like all the wind units that are used are all control support.
We have a lot.
We have a lot.
Genuinely a lot.
The thing is, all
Sierra.
the wind units you can build for raw damage.
Diana.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Ron.
So wind
again.
is probably the most
Odin.
balanced then. Wind is probably the most balanced.
No, wind is the
Wind's
most
the
OP.
No, like they have a lot of units. They have a lot of units in wind, is what you're saying. So that
Wind
means
has the
nobody
best
said Diana.
everything. Wind has always had the best everything.
but that's just
They have
more
the
the
best
reason why
supports, they
fire
have the
should get
best
buffed now.
CC. The
Yeah.
only thing wind doesn't have is immunity, which
Incorrect. Triana is really good.
Incorrect. Luis
You're right.
is now
You're right.
immunity.
Triana is a
Oh
god.
my god, how is this Triana is like a god?
Triana's a god. Oh, I forget because I don't use her ever.
Have you guys seen any Luis in any gameplay? That last change to be like Wusa's wife didn't do anything, right? Didn't get any viability.
Siege.
Yeah, just siege, right? Okay.
But Luis buff, didn't I say that Luis buff on the podcast like before the buff there?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
You did.
It's
So maybe they're
your
listening.
idea.
Didn't
So-
I?
They watch
Yeah,
this. They watch this. Like that's why I try to, have us have discussions on things and bring things up because it gives them ideas. Because they're sitting
They
in
watch
the.
this? Okay. Buff Tayor, buff Chow, buff Dragon
But,
Knights.
but how?
Right.
Like we have to come
Nerf
up with these
Antares.
ideas. We have to come up with these ideas and discussions, and then they
Okay.
can take it in, right? That's what
So
it is.
Comtus, if we can just talk to Comtus real quick, because I have an idea for Han. Because like Han's kit is pretty weird right now. It's so plain. I feel like his 90%.
Is it plain? He
We
gets a
should
lot
make
of
it
attack
so
bar.
that he gives half of his attack bar to his whole team.
What
So
the
him,
fuck?
him himself can.
No,
Why not?
stop.
Why not?
Okay, Bubble, just shut the fuck up. I just got
Oh.
fucked by a Han. Okay.
Oh,
He gives
just
45% across the board with his.
I love it.
Every time I fought a
can't say
You
Han,
want to turn Han into a frigate damage dealer?
Yeah, I do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's still fine because Wedget still has a better kit compared to Han. Then
Do you have a Han?
I do have a Han.
This is making more sense. Moving on.
yeah.
Moving on.
yeah.
Next topic. Next topic.
Han has 107 base speed and a crit awaken.
Mhm.
And his
They're gonna buff
and
Rogan. They're gonna
So
buff
you
a lot
only
of
need-
other.
you only need
monsters.
70 crit and then just raw speed, and suddenly you're a damage dealing, stunning frigate.
Yes.
Han actually got a buff.
Wedget is
And,
still better.
and you have a 30% speed lead for yourself.
Han got
Yeah,
an
but
intangible
Wedget
buff
has
from
24%
Baron.
across the board.
And you have a frigate, Obabo.
Yeah, but that's still shit.
What the fuck?
Well, the difference
Mark,
between
actually
a
armor.
Han and a Wedget is that Han can do the damage and has some kind of like he could do something. Wedget's strong at what he does in like attack gauge and getting turns. But I feel he doesn't do anything else, right? He just has that buff and he just skill 1. That's all he does. He just skill 1s for days, right? He just sits there.
pretty good.
It's all right.
Imagine you pair Han with Gianna and Baring.
Yeah.
So good.
With my new improved Han.
attack gauge.
That would be good.
Hey, you gave one
I think,
suggestion
you know-
last time that was really good. Something about healing. We were talking about Albert and healing, and you gave some kind of weird, like the heal from Abelio or something is like the heal proportionate to something. You said last time, which was really good. I forgot that
Oh,
one.
that was Ariel, I think. Like,
Was that
depending on
Ariel?
how much Ariel heals a unit,
Right.
becomes the like attack per gain for it.
Yeah, something like that. I thought that was a good mechanic. That would be very interesting
Yeah.
to see in the future. Yeah. Any other units that you guys think?
Nigong.
Oh,
Dude, okay. How about Alexandra?
So biased, man. This guy's so biased.
do you have a Nigong as well?
Tell you
This
what,
is,
Yeah,
this is
I
why
mean,
you
they're
can,
not gonna.
this is why you
They're
can
not
trust me.
gonna. They're
Those
not
are my
gonna
two
buff
LBs.
Gong. They're not gonna buff Han. They're gonna. There's other monsters that needs. a
Also,
buff.
Dark Chakram Dancer. Oh yeah, we
Guys-
can talk about Martina and the Dark Chakram Dancer. How
This
should
is
balance
why
them.
this is why
Martinez
chat will
pretty
trust
OP,
me
yeah.
because I don't have an LD Nat 5, so there's no bias towards LD Nat 5.
Okay, but this is actually like a concern because Martina is like the Martina Shayna combo is really overpowered right now. It's like very overloaded, and I feel like the Martina stealing buffs should be transferred to the Dark Chakram, and Martina should just rip. I
I
feel like that
think-
would be fair.
I think if you just reduce the damage you gain every time you strip a buff, she'll be manageable.
But
The,
did we?
the biggest problem is people can build 30k HP
No.
twins that still do a ton of damage.
Did we?
why
Did we talk
why
about
can
this
you
before,
build
though?
full bruiser tank and out damage everybody?
We talked about this in the past, where the reason why Martina is so strong is not Martina, it is Shayna. The pick of the Shayna pick that enables it is what makes it strong, in my opinion.
Obama
True or not?
disagrees.
You disagree. So you think that just the kit on Martina is the reason why? Because Shayna is such a strong unit, right? Everything about her kit and her speed lead in arena, which enables Martina to do what she does, is what's really strong.
I think
My
the two issues are speed lead
Shayna's
on
too
China.
strong.
Speed lead on China is, I think, too strong. And then for Martina, I think it's that you gain 50% damage every time you strip a buff 3 times. That should be like 20, maybe 25.
I mean, thing is, we're looking at them like separately now, but they are twins, so you have to like look at the combinations and how they should be balanced.
I agree that Belita should be buffed though, the dark one. She needs some love, the dark chakram. Yeah, maybe even the light one since everybody has it, but let's be real, that's why they gave it to us, right? But
The thing is,
go ahead.
yeah, it's more Martina enabling Shayna, I would say.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah,
I mean,
it's pretty
I would-
predominant
I
right
would-
now.
I would agree with like removing the like not the strip, but that they gain the buff. Like so, oh shit! What is the mechanic? She
Transferring-
strips.
She strips
Yeah,
and
she-
gains buffs
She
and
gains,
gives them
she,
to
she
both
gains the
her
buff.
and
yeah.
the twin.
Oh yeah, that's too OP.
Yeah, and I feel like
Like,
that's
strip
dumb
is
because that prevents one of the counters to the twins. Because then you have to
Yeah.
strip them to actually like kill them if they steal your immunity. So I feel like that would be a good fix, and they would still be really strong.
I think before they touch that, they gotta touch up with Gilnir. Remember the light lightning emperor
The
we've been
light
talking about,
lightning
right?
emperor.
Yep.
Yeah, or
He's
then
pretty down there.
the dark dragon, the dark phoenix, and monsters like that really needs to get touched up. They're just like unusable. A little bias here. Laura is really bad, and stuff like that.
I think Laura falls in the middle category. You know how there's like
Laura
OP,
is really bad.
OP, trash, and middle. She falls in
Han
middle.
needs to get touched up too.
Echo,
Fair enough.
echo.
Han needs to be buffed as well, but I don't know about Obabo's like 50% attack bar boost buff. But yeah, he
45,
should get buffed.
45.
Oh,
Okay,
of course.
who's
then.
echoing?
Of
Who is
course.
it?
It's
And
Bobby
also, you guys
Thompson.
are echoing.
And also
Bobby
like the
Thompson.
bait could get touched up too. Yeah, my guildie just pulled the bait, and everyone just like keep it in storage.
Mm.
The bait's kind of bad.
I mean, for Guild Wars, isn't it still good?
In Guild Wars,
Like we have to talk to the peasants, okay? Like,
okay,
okay.
it's good in Guild War. Yeah.
I can't believe you would talk about me like that, Takish.
But like, I feel like a lot of the Guild War leader skills, maybe if they make it so Guild War leader skills are still applicable to RTA, but like arena leader skills aren't applicable to Guild Wars. Because I feel like Sylvia suffers a lot from having her
Just give
like
people
speed
global
lead
leader
for RTA
skills then.
usage.
I know Takash will agree with me on this one too. Dark Pony could get a
She
buff.
doesn't gain attack bar, right? And skill 2, human form.
She does.
She
gain
gains
attack
25.
power, but
But she doesn't absorb like Helena.
Yeah, no, sorry, that's what I meant. The absorb. She doesn't steal like
Yeah.
Helena. If she had that, do you think she'd be good enough?
Thing is, so I had a pretty cool idea for like Alexandra. Like, make it so she strips one buff with her like human form AoE and provoke
like bearing.
instead of glancing and.
Ooh, strip? I don't know, man.
Starting to sound like some druids I know.
Actually, wait.
Starting to sound like some
just the one
druids I
strip.
know.
Like,
Provoke.
Is she
provoke
It's just
instead
the
of-
tip. It's just the tip. Okay, just
That's
the
how you
one
can tell
strip.
people are getting heated because they're talking about their own units now.
Yeah.
No one. Wait. Does Takesh have a Alexandra?
Alexandra.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Why did he say
but
he would agree with me? Like
Yeah,
you said, Taki will agree with me before, like
Wait,
name
me.
dropping the Dark Pony. You know
Me.
about me.
What does she do again? Isn't she like anti-cleavish? No.
AoE attack break and AoE glancing.
What's her
And
passive?
reflect
her
damage.
Passive is reflect
Reflect
damage.
So she's like anti-cleaving, right? So she sits kind of like a Lydia, or no? It's Lydia does damage,
30%
but
reduction.
huh? Interesting. Anyways, any other last topics you guys want to bring up here? I guess one unit that was never been talked about that we all know is trash is Christina. I mean, like, actually, probably currently the biggest meme and the biggest unusable unit in the entire game is
Is
Christina.
this fucked up? Like, I don't have Christina, so I don't care about. It's too new. All right, she needs
mean,
a
it's-
buff, but I
Like,
don't know.
Obviously, she's gonna get a buff. Like it's like
You can't even use her. You can't even make a comp to use her anywhere. You can't even Guild Wars. You can't even Labyrinth. You can't even I mean, unless you want to farm somewhere else, you can't even use her in Famin because it's Win. There's no use. Right? There's actually no use. So
Christina's the wind
cannon
wind
girl.
cannon master. Cannon girl.
Exactly.
win
Right.
cannon.
It's supposed to have some kind of weird setup where you get the attack depending on your other allies, and it's supposed to nuke really hard, but it's just
I mean, I gotta ask, like, is any of them useful? Of the cannon girls, like they're
some-
useful, but like I've never
The
seen
water one. People use the water one.
Some
for
people use the
speedrunning.
water one, but even I don't suggest them not to.
38%. She's got 38% attack lead, and she also has a huge multi-hit. So some people use her for necro speed runs, and some people I think use her in Rift dungeons too.
So she's actually viable, right? She actually has a use compared to a lot of the other ones. Oh, yeah.
How's your
It's-
light one,
it's
Thompson?
Like what?
How's your light cannon girl?
Storage,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, she's
Oh,
bad.
dude, I don't even touch that. I don't even know. I don't even remember I have it. It's,
Didn't you pull her on on
yeah,
podcast?
no, haven't even touched it yet. It's not worth it. Yeah.
I mean, you could make a
Nope.
6-star instantly, though. It's just a matter of you want to spend your time doing it, right?
Don't be disrespecting her. Her name is Emily. Okay. Messing with you. You look like a light cowgirl, by the way. You look like Lauren. I've been wanting to tell you that.
I will use you.
That's hot.
That's hot.
But
Anyways,
I don't really appreciate that you'd be violent towards me.
all right.
Oh.
I mean, Jesus, relax. Okay, relax.
Shit,
Anything
I
left?
come up with like I could have like I wanted to say something, but I couldn't.
This is
Oh,
gonna
no,
be
you-
coming. Can get some
Ooh.
Kappa prides in chat. We got like a couple minutes left here. Was there any last minute questions or topics you guys want to bring up? Tyler, you always have like a question or something for everybody, or anything like that you guys want to pop up?
I've mainly been watching chat. There's nothing that I've really.
Yeah, a lot of times when you
seen that
guys
is
bring things into
super
chat,
focused.
when you guys bring in some questions in chat, we've discussed it a lot of times in the past already.
Yeah.
That's why some of the topics we didn't bring back up. So please check
Yeah,
out some of the
people
other
will tag
podcasts.
us.
Yeah,
Tag us and be
yeah.
like, what do you think of this? Instead, we talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Many,
That's why we
many
didn't bring it in.
many times.
We had
Could we talk about something that we talked about last stream?
you talk about anything you want.
I feel like Antares is too strong, and also Josephine is too strong. So if they could do a little tweak on those two monsters, it'll be great.
The one thing we didn't figure out was how we wanted to tweak them. That sounds reasonable, right? Because this is,
Okay.
of course they know, but what can we do to tweak it? What?
Yeah, I don't know, but Josephine is busted, and like you're gonna see Josephine every other match in SWC. She's that good.
I think with Antares, maybe if you drop the attack buff from his passive, The crit buff is still nice, and I think it's fair, because that would influence people to build at crit damage. But the attack buff is really, really hard, and the reason for that is because if you build just like a little bit of attack, like my Antares is like 27k, 1.9k attack or something. Like I get an attack buff, and at like 10%, I just start slaughtering units. Right? When I get to 30%, I'm just one-shotting units. Right? If it makes it to 50%, nothing will survive an Antares proc. If you drop the attack buff, I mean, he already has healing on his skill too, right? If you drop the attack buff, it'll force people to build it with more efficiency and better. And the other thing is, in chat, people were saying that like people don't build Antares with speed. I disagree. I think the better Antares are built like 185 to 200 because they still need to rotate out of natural CC, right? You can't just rely on them to proc.
Oh, no. You have never played against a you just sit there and you just
okay.
go.
True. Ken did violent or did despair and revenge.
Yeah. But it's not just Antares, it's Josephine as well. She's really, my God.
Josephine, I really think it's just a passive. One cooldown on passive would be totally
That's the easiest fix. That's the 100%
because
easiest
I don't think they should nerf her skill 1. I really don't think they should. I think it's unique and great that she has the no glancing mechanic. It is 50%, so it's like it's balanced. And her skill 2 can glance, which is also fair. But
there is one unit
the
that
issue
counters
is
both
that
of them.
bios we're just fucked.
What is one unit that counters both of them?
Bulwark.
Yes. Bulwark is very good against both.
I mean, Thompson, if you want me to like figure out a team for you to handle Antares, how about just
No, I have a lot of stuff for Antares.
He has Sierra Gianna. Why would he be scared? You just put bombs on Antares.
I mean, I can help you. I can help you.
I'm not
Thompson.
scared. I'm not scared
Thompson,
of it.
listen, I'll help you. Okay?
No, all you do is pick Nesties and left.
Listen to me, Thompson. Listen.
No. Okay, yes. What is up?
Bulwark, Molong, Amelia, Arta, Ragdoll. How about that? Yeah.
Nice ragdoll, bro.
And that counters Antares.
Wait,
honestly, bombs are really good against Antares. Like Sierra and Gianna are both very good against him.
But are we talking about Josephine and Antares balance right now?
Yeah, we are.
Because I feel like Josephine is fine. Like Josephine goes in and out of meta depending on the other units. Like
you really feel like
2
Josephine
seasons
is
ago?
fine?
Josephine is fine.
Like 2 seasons ago, we didn't see any Josephine. Like almost none at all. 2 or 3 seasons ago.
Because they changed her, right? They
So it
changed her
depends
so
on
she
the
no
rest of the
glancing.
meta. Like if the meta favors Josephine, you will always see Josephine. But if it doesn't, there's no reason to bring her over like AG or Shio. So that's the reason for not nerfing Josephine.
No, but they buffed her. That's why you're seeing her more now.
I don't.
No, they didn't buff. Like
That's
they gave her the
necessary.
revenge thingy. but that's
I
not
honestly
really
think that
buff.
Josephine is just as good of a pick as Aegir is, if not a safer pick most games.
So, Diana counters Josephine pretty well, but now Antares got buffed. So is that a weird spot? Now Josephine is better. It's not because everybody's picking Hathor. I mean, everybody already picks Hathor, you know? So at the end of the day, Antares, Josephine, they need a little tweak, you know? Because it's really tilting when, like, Josephine gets violent procs and Antares gets procs. I'm just saying, like, make it a little bit more fair. Those units could be unfair, right? Like, imagine when Josephine starts stunning, when Josephine turns into Okeanos. Had that ever happened to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, the turning out on Josephine's kind of like disgusting too sometimes, right? Provoke into you hit and then you get stunned from the revenge, right? The turning out is pretty insane there.
It's
I think
pretty nasty.
a lot of
Those
things need to
unfair
be changed.
units like Diana, you know, Josephine, and
But I think
Aris,
they're unfair because, you know, they have strong kits, but it's because of those violent procs. But in the long run, you don't, you know, you're gonna see matches like that, the crazy ones, right? But the one that does need balance between those two more is probably the Antares, because how statistically, you know, how many matches do you often see it proc as often as it does? And it does quite a bit. Yeah, because it just stacks too hard.
Josephine as cancer as Antares. But,
Really?
you know, you guys could disagree with me, but it's like Josephine and Antares is both a problem. So I'm just saying, not for me, but I'm sure for other people, it could be pretty toxic. If you're playing on someone else's account.
I think it's just because we're not used to them yet.
I
Hathor's a way bigger
frustrated.
problem.
I get frustrated reading chat when we're talking about this. Everyone's like, "Oh, you guys are just Hathor pickers. That's why you hate it so much." Like, we also understand Hathor needs a nerf, but we're bringing to light the situation that it's all of these things. Because even if we nerf Hathor, and let's say Hathor gets nerfed pretty hard, like theoretically, let's say Hathor gets gutted to the point where she's like completely unusable. These units will still be extremely strong versus tons of other things.
I mean, I think the Antares is a bigger issue though than anything else because it's more accessible to players of all ranks and all usage. So you're gonna find more frustration and more abuse of it in the wider range of players. So it just makes it more pertinent to fix if it is an issue.
I think you guys don't see Josephine as a bigger issue also is because Antares is really easy to rune up, and Josephine is a lot more rune dependent than Antares. But if you rune up Josephine right, and you're playing on someone else's account, it could get really tilting. Like you're like, oh my god, like this monster, like I can't do anything. Their shield, all my units are stunned.
That's kind of why I said like you need to the fair nerf to Antares would be to remove the attack buff from his passive, right? Because then it forces you to have better runes on him.
No, I think they have to like reduce how much he gains every turn.
They have to.
Because I feel like they put that in place.
They need to cap.
I think
just put cap.
they need to cap it.
At like 50.
Because the thing is,
I don't know.
They put that in place to make it so we can never go like 30 rounds without proccing. But I feel like if you just cap it at like 35%, he's gonna proc.
True, because 22% we see is quite often, but so
Yeah.
35 should work technically, unless you use the dark freaking, the dark barbarian, which is 40% that never procs. Anyways, apparently 22 is a sweet spot number. But yeah, 35 theoretically should be a good spot to cap him off on, to be honest. Yeah.
But there's actually a Hathor nerf that I've been preaching about a lot on my stream. I don't know if I talked about it on the last time I was on, but make it so where like attack bar decreases 25% across the board. She would still be insanely strong, but her counters would be way better against her.
Or
Yeah, Hathor, like 25%, no 100% on one unit.
do that much though.
But it would make Fire Monkey, Raccoon, and all that stuff way better against her. Juno.
I mean, it doesn't change
You
the
would still be
underlying
good
issue
against-
with Hathor. The underlying issue is that you have this unfair mechanic of stripping to do every god's piece of work. It's the same thing with Ganymede, right? You could you skill on violent. There's no counterplay to it. And there's nothing you can do about it. I really think that the biggest issue with Hathor is strip on skill. That's why I pick her every game, because she's my main stripper.
Yeah, but the thing that I think is unfair about Hathor is you pick to counter her, and then you won't even counter her, because she has like infinite attack bar decrease.
True.
So your counter picks can't even do anything. And I think that's the most unfair thing about her.
I feel a lot of counters that were traditionally known as counters are just not as hard of a counter to her as
But
people
the
make it out to be.
Okay, but when you actually look at the drafting
that's
issue,
their
the
rules.
drafting issue against Hathor is that you can, if you couldn't strip with Hathor on skill 1, you'd be forced to pick all these other units along with her
Skill 2, you mean,
that
yeah.
are totally that allow you to have a counter pick draft, like a proper counter pick draft. Right? The thing is, you can just skill 2 with Hathor and then just wait a turn and you're fine because you've controlled that unit. Now you've reset it. So if they pick something like a Fran, you strip the Fran, you reset the Fran with your Ganny. They can't do anything, right? Or you do the same thing with like a Veligil and stuff like that, right? The issue, the 2-turn sleep is frustrating. Yeah, don't get me wrong, and it's frustrating to lose attack bar because it doesn't attack. But like adding an attack to her skill 3 to make it like glance spell isn't really going to change a lot. You're still going to get that unfair mechanic that is so frustrating. I mean, Barian is the one who actually brought that up. Like, that's not my idea. Barian brought that up maybe 4 weeks ago on the podcast. He said, if Ganny was nerfed to go strip into reset, how come Hathor hasn't been nerfed for strip? And we talked about
Because
that.
it's a
We
strip
talked
skill
about
2 and not a strip skill 1, which is a lot more.
but the strip skill 2
prominent.
is so impactful. It's strip into sleep.
Yeah, but it's a skill 2, right? You're talking about Ganny before, which was
Skill
if you're
2 on a
comparing
low
it,
cooldown.
you're comparing it to Ganny, which is a skill 1, dude. A strip on a skill 1 is
Okay, it's
pretty
100%
impactful.
strip chance. The skill 1 was a 35%.
what multi-hit, so it's fairly reasonable, right? It was consistent enough to the point that they had to nerf the Ganny, and they decided to nerf the Ganny skill 1 strip, right? But I don't disagree.
I don't
disagree.
think
It's
they
just strong.
nerfed it because it was too consistent. I think they nerfed it because it was an unfair mechanic. It made the unit naturally too strong.
But if it wasn't consistent, then it wouldn't be considered a strong unit, because that's the reason why Sekhmet is considered trash, is because she's very inconsistent in landing it, even though that's 100%. You're talking about 2 multi-hits of 35% strip, right?
Her biggest issue is the cooldown.
Hmm.
But then again, I guess the same argument for Okeanos, inconsistent. That's why people don't like it so much.
Exactly.
Ganymede is still a very unfair unit. That monster is so strong. When you bring Ganymede in, like it takes out half your picks because like his counters is short cooldown or immunity. How hard is it to bring 5 monsters with like short cooldown?
Do you think if you could reset his skill 2, it would be more more fair to fight?
Absolutely, heck yeah. But then only Okeanos could do that, and Manananan, I guess. Yeah.
Maybe Sekhmet. That might bring a little bit more value to Sekhmet if you could reset Ganny's. True, right? Hey, you were the one that
And
probably
the
used
other
it
thing
most
with- the other thing
successfully.
with Ganny is like Ganny has insane base stats too, right? Like
I love Sekhmet.
You used it.
Ganny's base stats are nuts.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, Ganymede is
Base speed.
still very OP, man.
Good speed,
gets play
good
around it.
defensive stats. Like he's very, very solid.
Yep, and that puts you at the driving lane where you could bring units with long cooldowns because of his ventilate, right?
Right.
So,
But
you see a lot of this in high level gameplay where like you pick Hathor and they pick Vanessa Ganymede. Then you're stuck with picking like low cooldown monsters like Fran Vertihill, or Ager, whatever. Monsters with low cooldown. But anyway, you have to play around Ganymede. Like he's such an impactful monster. Unless you're planning to ban out Ganymede, Ganymede is pretty busted as well.
But I think they've done enough to him. I think he's a lot more balanced than he is.
I agree. I agree. I'm not
saying.
saying like Ganymede needs a nerf. I'm just like trying to explain to people about
How strong he is.
G3RT8. Yeah.
All right. That looks like that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys for joining in. We had some pretty good topics. I want to open up these topics more to nerfs and buffs because, like I said many times, I'm pretty certain Comptuos watches this, and this is where they take ideas from. So the more ideas we throw, whether they're dumb or they're good or they're bad, or we have banters about them, this is great because that gives them the idea, right? Because end of the day, we can't make any of our we can't 100% make our ideas go through. But if they hear it and they see it and they kind of hear us discussing, it will give them some ideas in their team on whoever's doing the balance patches to potentially take them in, right, and make something happen. Yeah, whether it's going to be good or bad, though, will be another story. But if you guys are watching the YouTube channel, make sure you guys are subscribed, hit the like, and leave a comment below. We always go through all the comments for future podcasts. Thank you all for joining me on the podcast today. Yeah, so until the next live stream or video, I'll see you guys later, YouTube. Peace.